This Bigfoot is jointless, has human hands, and the females have 4 breasts. Who is it? Keep watching to find out. Welcome to my retrospective on all the crypto-hominids of Africa. This video will be both a compilation of all the wild men shorts from Africa and new analysis sections by me. So give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's learn all about the Bigfoots, big feet, whatever you want to call them, of Africa. I believe that this is the most complete list, but if you know of a Bigfoot that I didn't include, please let me know in the comments. We'll start in North Africa with 10 cryptids: Ani/Ana, Asebu Amenfi, Bulgu, Degdare, Elasmolan, Jabaran, Giant Moroccan Monkey, Cholier's Ape, Wayab, and Woad El Uma. After the shorts, I'll discuss any patterns, theories, or thoughts I have about them. I may have found the OG Dogman. Ani is an animal sacred to the Egyptian god Thoth. The animal is described as a dog-headed ape, which is similar to many crypto-hominids who have canine and/or ape characteristics, such as the Nandi bear, which is also from Africa. Some sources seem to indicate that the term Ani refers to yellow baboons, whose epithet means dog-head in Greek. Additionally, Thoth may have another aspect as a baboon underworld god called Anan. In Ghana, there is a story about a giant called Asebu Amenfi, or the Giant of Asebu, who founded the kingdom of Asebu. He came from Egypt originally, where he chased the children of Israel during the Exodus. For these reasons, I wonder if perhaps Asebu Amenfi was a surviving Nephilim.
In Ethiopia, there is a story of a cannibal with 4 eyes, a head like an axe blade, arms like axe handles, and stocky legs like pestles. It is able to speak to humans. The Bulgu has many similarities to a number of Native American Bigfoot types, as well as the African Negu-Ganagunbar, which is a cannibalistic giant.
Degdare is a boogeyman from Somali folklore. She is a cannibal with long ears who preys on children. She might be a giant, as she is described in one source as tall. Also, another African Bigfoot, Galoko, also has long ears. In the myths of the Tuareg people in the Sahara, Elasmolan is a giant red-furred monkey who guards hot springs. He is a protector of children, and no spear can harm him. Although Elasmolan appears to be a singular being in the myths, he may be a member of a race of giant simians, as yet unidentified by science. The Tuareg people, a Berber group from the Sahara, have stories of giants. They are depicted in ancient rock art. The Tuareg's traditional belief is that their ancestors were naive giants who were eventually supplanted by modern humans. You'll find that many cultures have stories of giants involved in the earliest times of humanity. In 1981, a Moroccan man named Amo recounted a story about a giant monkey he saw when he was very young to Luke Chazal, a friend of cryptozoologist Bernard Heuvelmans. This appears to be the only documented sighting of this creature, although a 19th century Moroccan atlas may also describe this creature. In the 1981 sighting, this monkey is described as walking upright like a human, had brown fur with lighter fur on its legs, and was approximately 5'7" in height. Amo was firm that this creature was not a Barbary macaque, the only monkey that's supposed to live in Morocco. The 19th century Moroccan atlas described gorilla-sized apes, at least according to Les Us Insolites d'Afrique. But I wasn't able to personally read the book and can't confirm. Do y'all think this monkey could be related to the Saharan Elasmolan or the Mali Cholier's ape? The Cholier's ape comes from a single instance in 1938 in Mali. It is described as man-sized, bear or ape-like, with long black hair.
This is a unique crypto-hominid from Sudan, the Wayab. It looks like a man covered in hair without joints and with human hands on short arms. One source says they come in all colors like sheep and goats, but another source says they are red. It's also said that the females have 4 breasts.
Woad El Uma are semi-aquatic crypto-hominids with reddish fur who live along the Sudanese portion of the Nile River and adjacent lakes, and go on land only before the periodic floods. I wonder if they breathe water or can simply hold their breath for a long time, like water mammals such as otters or seals. They're said to be herbivores, although I wouldn't be surprised if fish also comprised a substantial portion of their diet. So, North African crypto-hominids are a pretty diverse bunch with not a lot of overlap between them. While Ani seems like a potential canine crypto-hominid, there are no other canine crypto-hominids in North Africa, and I checked, there are no canine crypto-hominids in the Middle East either. In fact, with the possible exception of the Nandi bear, Ani stands alone. In Angola, we have the Kishi, which are spirits with hyena faces on the back of their heads, but other than that, no canine crypto-hominids. So while there are definitely other canine/dogman crypto-hominids, Ani might not be related to them. Next we have giants, Asebu Amenfi, Jabaran, and Wayab, maybe. Could Jabaran be related to a Cebu Amemphi? Maybe he was a Jabaran? Way ahead, the jointless, four-breasted Bigfoot is pretty unique, so I don't know if they're related to them or if they are their own distinct race. We also have cannibals, Bolgu and Degdare. Bolgu is pretty distinctive, but it's possible that Degdare is related to them, or maybe she's related to a Cebu Amemphi. Elasmolin and the giant Moroccan monkey, I think, are likely to be related or the same species, possibly the Charlie Ears ape as well. Alternatively, Elasmolin and Moado Uma could be the same species. I've also linked my video on Moado Uma and Inadaha, in which I theorize the two may be the same species. Interestingly, Elasmolin is red-furred, as well as the descriptions of Inadaha, who are said to have red hair. Perhaps all three are the same species. Now let's move to Central Africa. There are 23 cryptohominids from here, mostly from Congo, which makes sense because Congo is the largest country in sub-Saharan Africa.
The Apamandi is a cryptid from the Bakumu people in Congo. It is described as a heavily built small man, clothed in black hair but having a light skin. Its prints are approximately 8 inches long, very short and broad, and having the strange distinction of having the second toe longer than either the first or the third, being somewhat separated from the first or big toe, according to abominable snowman legend come to life. The Billy ape is a supposed giant lion-eating ape living deep in the Congolese jungles. Skulls and other evidence have been found, but mainstream science has never confirmed the existence of the Billy ape. They are said to be more aggressive than apes and have behaviors and physical features that make them seem like a hybrid between an ape and a chimp. There's a lot of misinformation regarding the Billy ape, and it may simply be a new subspecies of ape or chimp. The black and white ape supposedly dwells in the Ituri rainforest in Congo. It is described as white with a black back. There are many Bigfoot types from Congo who may be related to the black and white ape, including the Billy ape, Kakomba, Bangenza, Ndesu, and Negugunagunbar. In Congo's Rwenzori Mountains, there might be a giant Pato species hiding. It's reported to be 5 feet tall. In appearance, it's similar to other bear-like cryptids, such as Nandi bears, as well as lemur-like cryptids, such as the Kadoki, which I will cover soon. The giant Pato's height is similar to other cryptohominids, like the Agagwe. Still in Congo, we have the great red ape. Attilio Gatti, an Italian-American explorer, writer, and filmmaker who had several expeditions across Africa, claimed to see the great red ape in 1937. He described them as larger than gorillas and walking upright like humans. They might wield stone knives. The Twa people claim the red apes were both extremely strong and highly intelligent. The Kakandakari is described as a long-haired dwarf gorilla from Congo. The long hair is similar to last week's Kalanoro, and the small size is similar to the Agagwe. It may be the same as the larger Kakomba, also from Congo, possibly a juvenile form. The Kakomba is a cryptid with black fur with longer hair on its head from Congo. It howls, screams, and barks. It uses a walking stick, which could be a sign of animal tool use, or a sign of how this creature is more like a fairy. It may be the same as the Bangenza, a brown-furred primate cryptid also reported in Congo. The Ndesu is a Congolese Bigfoot with dark hair and lighter tufts. They eat people, which while not a universal Bigfoot trait, is a common one, and will be seen again all over the world. They love music and dancing, which also makes them similar to more traditional fairies. Its coloration and location, Congo, makes it possibly the same creature as the black and white ape. Negugunagunbar is a child-eating giant from Bambuti mythology in Congo. It is not described as ape-like, which makes it similar to the cannibal giants and feral people of North America. However, it could also be related to or the same as Ndesu, which is also from Congo and eats people. It may also be related to the black and white ape, as both live in the Ituri forest. Negugunagunbar is also linked to the giant forest hog. A member of the U.S. Marines supposedly recorded footage of 13 spiny-backed primates resembling chimpanzees in the Democratic Republic of Congo during a mission that took place between 1997 and 2002. The video is classified, and its alleged existence was revealed by a leaker. The Cameroonian dodo was first reported in 2000 by cryptozoologist Bill Gibbons. It is described as ape-like and aggressive, sometimes pursuing human women. This is an important detail that will come up again in future shorts. It's also extremely common in fairy mythology. The dodo also supposedly abandons the corpses of those it kills, returning to feed on the carcasses when they are maggot-filled. The ingot is a Bigfoot from Gabon that is very large, very aggressive, and known to attack and kill humans. Its feet point backwards, which is something we will see again in other Bigfoots, and also appear in descriptions of other fairies worldwide. The Kulakamba is an alleged ape-chimpanzee hybrid reported in the 1800s by French explorers in Gabon, Cameroon, and Equatorial Guinea.
It's said to have a larger skull than a chimp with some cresting. It frequently walks bipedally and is aggressive. In 1993, someone claimed to see a wild man in Gabon. It may have been a Kulakamba, but the natives called it Sipangi and said it was aggressive. There are reports from Gabon of a species of thumbless apes. It's said to be completely arboreal, never leaving the trees, and therefore has no need of thumbs. These apes also resemble orangutans. In Senegal and Guinea, there's a cryptid with black fur, red eyes, and long hair on its head. A hunter allegedly captured a female Fatingho and had children with her. Their daughter was said to be a great beauty, and her descendants still lived in the area in 1945. This obviously sounds a lot like fairy mythology. Also in Senegal, the Wokolo is reported. It has yellow eyes and a pointed beard. Possibly it is the male of the same species as the Fatingho. In Côte d'Ivoire, tales are told of the Sahite, a reddish-haired dwarf humanoid with long head hair. Some sources claim it also had backwards-pointing feet. According to the Guray people, they had a system of barter with the Sahite, leaving human-made goods in the forest in exchange for fruit. This practice was going on as late as 1935. Got another aquatic cryptohominid this week, the Yaolo from Liberia. Cryptozoologist Ivan T. Sanderson documented this creature and described it as about the size of a chimp, aquatic, but possesses thick black hair like a chimp and has a black crown of hair which the people describe as resembling most the crown of the Diana monkey. The sound is vaguely chimp-like. The feet, they say, are actually unlike a chimp's and more like a leopard's with permanent claws. They kill their victims by draining them of blood. Lurking on the banks of the Tano River in Ghana is a giant primate called the Tano Giant. It carries off women and eats children. The Tano Giant is taller than humans, it has white skin with black hair, its hands have 4 fingers but no thumb, and its head is flat and monkey-like. Additionally, it's said to carry an animal skin that it wraps itself in when cold, which sounds kind of like wearing clothing. The Malagilage from Chad are short with reddish skin, long hair, short arms, and tails. Interestingly, they are also said to graze black camels the size of donkeys. This implies human-level intelligence and culture in order to practice animal husbandry, which is similar to most fairies, as well as other Bigfoots like the Senegalese Fatingho and the Congolese Kakomba. Nanar is an alleged black-furred biped described by the Maasai and Kipsigis peoples. Cryptozoologist Bernard Heuvelmans theorized that it could be an Australopithecine. The Nandi bear, also called the Chimasit by the Kalenjin people, is an African cryptid that is described variously as a giant with an ape's face, a giant bear, a giant hyena, a baboon-like animal, or some combination of a hyena and a bear or primate. It is violent, often blamed for killing people and animals. There have been many sightings since the early 1900s. This cryptid combines all versions of Bigfoot, those that are ape or human-like, those that are bear-like, and those that are dog/wolf or hyena-like. The Galoko is a Kenyan and Tanzanian Bigfoot with thick gray hair, dark skin, and huge ears like an elephant's. In the 19th century, it was claimed one had been shot by a Mbani tribesman in Kenya. In Africa, there used to be myths that a cannibalistic half-man, half-ape called Pongo stalked the forests. Female Pongos could shapeshift into beautiful women to get close to male victims. Pongos and humans could mate and have hybrid children who looked human, but who had violent cannibalistic urges because of their Pongo DNA. Most claim that Pongo turned out to be the gorilla, and the fantastical elements were the result of superstition and misunderstanding. However, the descriptions are so similar to other cannibalistic giants found across the world that I think Pongo may not have simply been the gorilla. The first and most important thing I want to mention is that while not all of these stories can be verified, billy apes do in fact exist. Whether they are a new subspecies of chimpanzee, a new species, or just a very unusual group of chimpanzees, they do exist. If their existence can be debated for so long, who knows what else is out there? I have linked several articles about the billy apes in the description for those who want to know more. Perhaps there are other unknown great apes out there. There are 10 ape-like cryptids in the shorts we just saw, who range all across West Africa and could definitely be a new species or subspecies. Spiny-backed chimpanzees also sound like they could simply be an unknown species. The same goes for the giant pato, yaolo, and the Nandi bear/Chimasit. But there are also some fascinating cryptids with strikingly human-like traits. Apamandi is described like a Neanderthal, the Fatingho has long hair and can interbreed with humans, and Wokolo has a pointed beard. The Sahite were smart enough to barter with humans. The Tano Giant carries off women, possibly for breeding, and wears clothes. Malagilage practice animal husbandry, which to be fair, isn't a solely human behavior. Some ants herd aphids, for instance. Still, this is interesting. Lastly, Nanar is similar to the humanoid Australopithecine. What is the cause of that? Is it simply myth? Alternatively, most cultures in the past believed in other sentient races that they shared the world with. Could these cryptids be examples of that? Then there's the weird ones. Negugunagumbar and Galoko. Are they unique species, mythologized versions of real animals, or something else entirely? Next, we're going to southern Africa with 4 cryptids from Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Agagwe from East Africa. The Agagwe was first reported by Captain W. Hitchens in 1937. Hitchens claimed that 2 small, brown, furry creatures come from dense forest on one side of the glade and disappear into the thickets on the other. They were like little men, about 4 feet high, walking upright, but clad in russet fur. Years since, there have been other sightings. This is not particularly old Bigfoot, but as we will see in the series, it matches the descriptions that will reappear all over the world, including in Africa.
Watu Wamiti means men of the trees in Swahili. They are 4 to 5 feet tall, hairy men. Their race was devastated by wars and famines, but small numbers of them persist in Mozambique and Zimbabwe. The Otang is from Knysna montane forests in South Africa. As far as I can tell, Gareth Patterson is the only person reporting about the Otang. I could not find any primary indigenous sources about this cryptid. Patterson was searching for elephants and discovered that locals claimed an upright, hairy being called the Otang lived in the Knysna forests.
Water bobian is a South African Bigfoot. The name means water baboon in Afrikaans. It resembles a baboon, lives near bodies of water, and prowls the outskirts of farms and outlying areas, stealing and eating livestock.
I think that the Agagwe and Watu Wamiti are the same species. They're both described as short, ape-like bipeds, and they live in the same range. There's not a lot of info on the Otang, but they are perhaps an unidentified ape species, similar to or the same as the unidentified ape species from West Africa. And Vader Bobian, whose name I mispronounced in the original short, sorry about that, could be an unidentified baboon species. Lastly, let's go to the African islands of Madagascar and Mauritius, which have lots of unique cryptids.
The Kalanoro are a spirit from the Malagasy mythology of Madagascar. They are part of a fascinating middle ground between a phantasm and a cryptid. They live deep in the forest, are short like the Agagwe, have long fingernails, long hair, and red eyes. Traditional herbalists claim that their hair has magical qualities. Their feet point backward, which is a trait we see in other non-Bigfoot fairies. Supposedly they may also be telepathic, and that U.S. Navy SEALs may have recorded footage of the Kalanoro, but the tape is classified.
There might be a giant lemur dwelling in the forests of Madagascar. The Kadoki is an approximately 55-pound lemur. They're ground-dwelling and have a whooping call. It's been theorized that there are surviving species of giant lemur, believed extinct by mainstream science. Kisula is a giant red-furred lemur from Madagascar. It's been theorized that it may be a surviving species of Paca lemur, a type of extinct giant lemur. Kisula is similar or maybe the same animal as the Kadoki that I covered a few weeks ago. Scientists have searched for giant lemurs in Madagascar, so perhaps this cryptid will soon be proven real. Katuku comes from the cutting edge of cryptid research. First seen by outsiders in 2012, and to my knowledge only appearing in the 2013 book Mirabilis, A Carnival of Cryptozoology and Unnatural History, Katuku are short, hairy humanoids with big chests and small feet that live in hilly areas of Madagascar. It's claimed that humans can befriend them, and if rice is left out for them, they will reciprocate, bringing honey or prey. One theory about where Katuku come from is that during French colonization, people fled into the hills and devolved into Katuku. This is similar to stories of feral people in the U.S. Cryptozoologist Dr. Carl Schuker theorized that Katuku is actually Kalanoro, short, hairy humanoids also from Madagascar. Tocandia is a giant lemur the size of a bear with a human-like cry from Madagascar. It's said to travel in great leaps and sometimes jumps into trees. Many Sasquatches have human-like cries, and while there are many giant lemur cryptids in Madagascar, it also reminds me of the Nandi bear, another African cryptid said to be bear-like in size. Remember the Kadoki? Well, there might be an even bigger lemur lurking in Madagascar, the Tre, which is the size of a 2-year-old calf. They're said to have human-like faces and ape-like feet. There are fossils of extinct giant lemurs, but perhaps some have persisted into the modern day. Does an oily, naked man haunt Mauritius? Tuni Minwi, meaning naked midnight, is an alleged being from Mauritius and Rodriguez Island. He may also be a type of wolf/dogman or even a werewolf. In 1994, during a major power outage, people began to claim to see Tuni Minwi. Is this a simple case of mass hysteria, or is there really something out there? It's worth mentioning that a dark, oily male being also appears in Malay lore called Orang Minyak. Is this some kind of demon? You may have noticed a pattern in the Madagascar shorts. Pretty much all of them are giant cryptid lemurs, and perhaps that's the explanation. It's currently believed that giant lemurs are extinct, but maybe they are not. But the Kalinoro story hints at a possible supernatural explanation as well. Even weirder and more supernatural is Tuni Minwi. Let me know in the comments if you think that Tuni Minwi is an unknown animal brought out by the tropical cyclone Helanda power outage, or is it a demon? Or something else entirely? I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I plan on doing compilation analysis videos for Asia and Oceania as well. Don't worry though, I still have plenty of merfolk videos coming too.